that's so overrated. Yeah, if you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation. Yeah, there's a comfort in the crawl. Now I've been on my feet too long. I know I'm strong, just looking for some solid ground, so I can start to run. I don't wanna be tired, moving so bad, right. I don't wanna be tired, feels like it's my time. I don't need your light. Don't you waste your time. We're not the only ones. 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 Days gone, I won't waste another one. Oh, that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Take me back to you. Just shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape.
Saying
but I left my distractions behind. I will be in the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Fading from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. Saying we're all fine, what a sin, what a waste of time. Fading from color, stuck in the backseat, told to drive.
If you wanna be my love, boy, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know. If you wanna be my love, boy, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof. I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof.
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down, I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now. And then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now. And then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Do you feel a little down? Say it. No problems. Let you in but you out. Sing it. No problems. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now. Had none I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now. And none I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact, she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none. Stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now. I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always felt the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night. My old life ain't staying.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA. Headed on my way. I'm headed on my way to LA. Headed on my way soon.
Couple thousand miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, the 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. Had to remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb. Tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. Yeah. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me tight. From
I
getting
pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Headed on my way, I'm headed on my way.
Welcome into the ESL Challenger League Season 49. We are here in the Asia Pacific region to kick things off. Day one, of course, getting straight into the action. No messing around here with the pre-shows this season. It is myself, Scriv, and I am joined alongside Trav. Very much looking forward to getting into this one. I mean, been a little while actually since I've been on the Asia region myself, but I think things are lifting up. We've obviously just had the major in this region, so things starting to get a little bit shinier over here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's fun to be back for another season of ESL Challenger League. Of course, this is the first game of the entire season, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's nice to be given the honour to cut the ribbon, kick it off. And yeah, the first match we've got to cover in the Asia Pacific region, of course, Rare Atom versus the Huns. A lot of well-known names across the board here, and of course Rare Atom making a name for themselves, not just in this region, but at the major as well, ruining everyone's 0-3 pick, so they'll be delighted with that. But things have changed a little bit since then, so we'll have to see how they do today.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of changes, this is, of course, your format to kind of keep up with things. We are ultimately in the BO1s for the round robin in Asia Pacific. I think there's a couple more regions as well that are sort of sticking with that system. We'll see whether it sticks around, whether it changes up, as I think the teams will want to move back towards those BO3s, but it's pretty simple. You sort of stick in and do the best that you can in the league format, and then you move into those playoffs where the BO3s open up. But certainly, I think that format-wise, it does provide a few more games for the teams to play, and you also have a bit more of a chance to work your way down to a map that you're comfortable on. I think once you get into the second half of teams, as it were, maybe towards the lower end of the seeding, the power rankings, they can struggle when it comes to the depth of a map pool. So sometimes the BO1s can be good for that.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, this is a format that we've seen in most of the leagues. I think, other than EU, really, in Challenger League, right? I think in South America it was used quite a lot, and it actually made the playoffs pretty tasty in the end after it all played out over the course of the season. So, anyway, there is the prize pool that you can see in front of your eyes right now. And of course, I really want to talk about the teams that are going to be playing and kind of the individual players that are going to be on the server today, because these two teams, Reratum and the Huns, actually played each other more recently than you'd think. It was the end of last year in a Mongolian LAN event. Unfortunately for Reratum, they had to play with their coach, Z8Z. Kaze had travel issues and couldn't make it. But they still managed to win, even with their coach. And funnily enough, it's not Kaze this time, but it's the same situation today. If I'm not mistaken, they are going to be playing with Z8Z again, their coach, instead of somebody.
Yeah, certainly could make a difference here. Seems like there's, sort of a few travel issues going on, I suppose, within the team. Again, they do have an awful lot of firepower on this team. A lot of classic names on the Reratum side of things. Chao King, Li Hang, I think, are starting to really turn some heads. But you also have the experience of Summer and Kaze to really bring the team together. And I think that against a squad like the Huns, look, there's some legendary players over there, within the Mongolian scene, right? Bartak, Nine, Zerolt. But I think that they are a bit of a team that strikes me as sort of vibing it out, just kind of playing with the homies, as it were. It feels like one of those types of teams. I know that a good number of the guys on that team as well are actually part of a lot of the Mongolian broadcasts, that do like coverage and whatnot and their own local tournaments and things like that. So are they on that same level of depth as the Reratum side of things? Let's have a look at the Kadir Gaming player to watch then. Speaking of Reratum here, to just close things out before we hopefully get into the action, it is going to be that aforementioned Chao King, namely just on the fact that he is statistically the strongest player right now for Reratum.
Yeah, he's a bit of a gamer, isn't he? I mean, he's been around the scene for quite a while now at this point. Kind of the only team that he hasn't really had a chance with now at sort of the upper echelons of Asian Counter-Strike is Tai Lu, right? He was made a name for himself on Wings Up, that team that made a couple of those Challenger lands back in 2022, 2023 sort of time. He was on that team for just under 4 years. So, yeah, now he's on Reratum ever since April of last year, and he's been making a name for himself for sure. Now he's got stickers in the game and all that jazz, right? So it's going to be tough for the Huns to deal with him. And as you say, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform, because as you mentioned, they've got Nine, who's been around the Mongolian scene for forever, pretty much, and Zerolt obviously is one of my favourites, actually, from this sort of tier 2 Mongolia, the tier below the Mongols, right? So, looking forward to seeing how he does. And, of course, Bartak, Mzinio's older brother, don't forget. So, yeah, it should be fun.
Yes, absolutely. A little bit of a veto there at the bottom for you. Yeah. If you hadn't already guessed by our fly-through, we are kicking things off on Inferno here. I think we might come back, but just to sort of mention, if people are a little bit interested, we've got Anubis as that sort of second map in the BO1 series here. So I think that when it comes down to the BO1s, you are ultimately going to get a map that both teams are pretty comfortable with. I think we know how that works by now. When it comes to the Inferno, it feels like that is sort of the Huns' best map as well, the most played. The Anubis, there's a lot of reps on there for Reratum, but maybe not as much success. So we'll see how it goes. But at the end of the day, this is one for me where I just think Reratum on that pure firepower, pure level of the team is just going to be a bit higher than the Huns, unfortunately. The Huns, as you say, tier 2 Mongolian team, maybe even struggling a little bit there, you might argue, right? Getting knocked out in places against teams that maybe you're not as familiar with. I think that they had kind of an early exit from the Extremes land just now and whatnot. So, I feel that there are, unfortunately, a few issues on this side.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if sort of Rare Atom can do the double over the Huns as well, because it's actually, as I described earlier, right, it's actually a similar situation having to play with the coach. So yeah, I think maybe there might be a chance we're avoiding that though. I've just been given information by our admins and our producers that I think we've got a different player according than what HLTV actually details. I believe we've got maybe a second one as well. Maybe that's what I'm looking at. I think it is. Yes, it is. Our producer told us that Salmon will be playing instead of Lihang. So that's perhaps 2 stand-ins now for Rare Atom. So, sure, as I just mentioned, they did beat the Huns in that Mongolian land with 1 stand-in, their coach, but 2? Let's see how that works out. That could be a bit of a difference maker.
Hey, well, it's never an easy day when it comes to the Asia Pacific region, of course. There's always going to be sort of something stepping in here. I'm not sure. Yeah, it might be something to do with travel. They were playing the Rare Atom guys at Extremes Land, came sort of 3rd, 4th there. Maybe a few people expected them to do a little bit better given the ilk of teams. And that only ended a couple days ago. Is it something to do with that? Not quite sure. China's a very, very, very big place. So, yeah, might not yet be fully home or fully recovered, or maybe we've fallen ill. Who knows, right? We don't have that kind of information, but all we know is this is not going to be a full-strength team. So it does kind of change things pretty significantly, I think. The Huns may well be in with a chance, if they can kind of get every part of their team working, and they do have a couple of players that I think can sort of take over a game. It seems like they give a lot of their resources to 9, to Zerolt, to sort of carry the squad, so there is potential that could happen here if those 2 stand-ins are particularly cold.
Yeah, I was scouring around last night for some extra information about Rare Atom to see if they were planning any future roster changes or stuff like that. Any of those reports just haven't been confirmed by the org themselves yet. And I've been looking around. There was definitely something I saw out there, but I've missed. And I couldn't find again. So I don't know if that's maybe the reason for some of the stand-ins. Maybe they're having to play with stand-ins to sort of prepare their roster for the changes they have to make. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to do that.
Sure.
To keep the core from the previous season, just to be here in the first place. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to keep searching for that one, I suppose. But yeah, with 2 stand-ins and having to play with the coach, that is something that I definitely would say evens up this game significantly, because it's not a best of 3 as well, right? It's a back-to-back best of 1 format here in ESL Challenger League Asia Pacific. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and the fact that it's Inferno, as I said, the Huns have previous experience playing against Rare Atom on this map. There's definitely a world in which there's they can learn from what went before, and sure, for Rare Atom, they haven't lost Kaze this time, which is obviously a super important part of their team. But they have lost one of their sort of critical riflers, so we'll have to see. And I think there's a genuine chance that a name like Bartak, like Zerolt, like 9, who've been around for so long and plied their trade. I think I remember casting 9 on that renewal team back in some of my first ever ESL broadcasts in early 2021, right? And they were in ESL Pro League conference, the qualifiers for Pro League and stuff like that. That was pretty fun back in those days. So they've got name value for sure, and all the experience to sort of make something work in this sort of, I guess, situation. And you're right. Sure, maybe it is the homies playing together, but there's progress being made, and there are good names here.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that within the region in particular, they will absolutely have sort of a big name value, a lot of fans, a lot of people around them, and like I say, they're quite active within the community when it comes to those broadcasts, when it comes to kind of getting themselves on the content grind and all that sort of stuff, so I think that this is one of the teams that's maybe trying to build that in a sense. And you have the Mongols obviously have quite a large following. It's an old name that got revived, of course, IHC kind of before the fact. And I think that the Huns are trying to feed into that pretty heavily and, really create something that is going to outlast these players, so to speak. But enough of the filler, as we are a little bit late here. I think certainly going to be a trend with the region, getting everybody in on time is not the easiest thing in the world. But we've got Inferno on your screens and underway here. Rare Atom starting off on that T side of things and looking to work their way into an early pistol here. Not a lot of utility brought up for them, but moving pretty fast as they've sent Summer straight down Banana to just, I guess, gather some information and put the fear into the Huns.
Yeah, let's see how it pans out. And as you say, just a little bit of presence being shown. That is all. I think right now we have no game sound. I don't know if it's the same for the stream, but I hope we'll get that sorted either way for either us or you guys at some point. As it said, the coach will take first point and try and bait in his teammates for a bit more success because they've already lost 2 players for that top mid position. Bomb will get planted safely behind the pillar on the fountain. Now Salmon is going to try and push his way forward. It's going to be actually hard to do much work here in this sort of scenario when you've got so little numbers left, and will be eaten up in the end by the Huns. It's a lovely start. 9 gets 2 and Bartek gets 1.
Yeah, pretty clean stuff. I think that Rare Atom maybe oversold, those aggressive pushes, right, to try and gather the information, create the space for the basic execute into the bomb site. Just a little bit too much lost, so couldn't really contest. But they do get that bomb down. It's obviously a sort of curious conversation now around what they do, whether they want to go for the buy, whether they want to take a half and just sort of eco it out. This is obviously something that I think comes more into the conversation. We'll see how it affects Tier 2. But with those, bomb changes, I think we've had enough time now for teams to maybe start to adjust rather than just going for the default force.
Yeah, for sure. We have a brief pause, I hope. Got to get back underway again. Nice little holds top mid to begin with there in this one for the side of the Huns. Actually had a, I guess not a surprise for Atom, but I guess when you, as we were describing, sort of going back between both sides of the map, trying to find an entry somewhere, trying to sell fakes either side, a little bit awkward when that sort of comes into play sometimes. Hard to gauge what the plans are for your opponents.
Yeah, just an early technical here, unfortunately. So, bearing with
teething problems of a new season, bro.
Yes, well, this is it, and I think making sure that the players are all comfortable. And look, man, it again is a very interesting, very difficult kind of region to work with, just because I think everybody is so far away. So every now and then you are probably going to get a bit of a ping spike or some packet loss coming in that you have to contend with. But we'll see here. It is indeed that full spend for Rare Atom. A lot of utility opted for, actually. So hopefully they've got a bit of a game plan to work with it.
Yeah, the force, of course, with the plant. Not as powerful as it once used to be. They still managed to get 2 Galils out with a couple of Deagles and a Mac-10. The utility is not great, but it's enough, and especially if shots are hit like that. Zerolt's down already. What a shot from Child King to kick us off.
Hopefully continues. The Mac-10 leading the charge here in towards this A-bomb site. It is that utility game now that starts to make a bit of the difference. They will be scared off, actually, on that Rare Atom side, but the Huns maybe over-rotating, a little unsure themselves, in fact. The Deagle of Summer now trying to take first point does not work out. And it should be all good here, honestly. Well-timed smoke. Again, going to keep them at bay. Not a lot of time to work with. They are opting to go through it. And, well, that's never won. Down to just the coach now in the 1 versus 4.
Imagine the 35-year-old coach getting a 1 versus 4 to kick off this season of ESL Challenger League. He knows he's going to have to try and be aggressive on one of these kills and look for something, but now he's been found out in the open, and actually it's a really awkward fight for him as 9 sort of just creeps back behind the wall in CT. And he can't deal with that one cleanly. So the Huns deal with that force quite comfortably, but it is 2 plants in a row for Rare Atom, so they're continuing to get some success with that and get some extra money and keep the pressure up on the CT side.
Yeah, I think certainly going to have some options now in terms of what to do with the buy and keeping that pressure on. You know, it's always good in the early stage of a game to just stay on the heels of your opponent. Again, as we've said, Rare Atom, it's going to be a wacky day for them, to say the least, right, with where the team is at, or I suppose where half the team is at. I think the Huns look at the docket today and they're a little bit like, okay, we can genuinely take some names here and really kick our season off well. You know, Rare Atom are a big name within the Asia Pacific region, especially at the moment. You've got Tyloo not really performing as well as you would expect given the names on that team. You maybe have Lin Vision with a drop in form as well. So, you know, the cards are certainly there. It felt like Rare Atom after the major were going to be one of the more consistent factors within this league.
Yeah. That can sometimes just be the feeling, right? I mean, completely expected. And you've got a name like that that's made a name for themselves at the Chinese major, of course. I mean, it was so cool, right? Just to see, after all the years of graft that Summer and Somebody have put into the scene, you know, with Tyloo, with Rare Atom, whatever team they played with in the past, to sort of get their just reward for all those years by getting the chance to play at the Shanghai major and actually really do themselves justice as well as a massive underdog. But yeah, maybe Rare Atom are moving past that era now. Maybe Somebody was on his way out, but today, let's see what Salmon can do. And already, Child King is being pressured down Banana. He's dangerous in the kill feed and dangerous in the server right now, but the answer back is quick. 3v3 thanks to 9 and Zerol.
Yeah, a little chaotic to kick things off. I think Rare Atom just trying to see where they can prod and poke. I'm got to be careful here on this AWP. Oh, or does he? Oh, does he?
Nice.
Yes, sir. What a way to open things up. Beautiful 3-piece coming in, 4 overall for him. I was like, he's on his own. He's got to watch it. Maybe don't take these peaks, but he's feeling it today.
What a great start for him. Clean with the AWP. Almost reminded me a bit of some of those classic clips from back in the day where you just see an AWP dance back between the corner, default, back toward the short position, look toward apps, hit all the flicks, and many a great play from that spot over the years. Some are getting tagged down already by Util. That incendiary will force Summer forward as well, which means Cobra gets a freebie.
Oh, a little bit of an awkward fight over here. Cobra not really able to get the trade. Gagging for it. Like, yeah, dangerous move here. I think he was low ammunition there. Really left himself isolated. I feel like you've either got to go for it or ditch, you know, and just cut your losses. So only 2 remaining at the moment for the Huns side. There is a flank coming in. It's quite late. The movement up here is a lot faster than I think they were expecting. So we get down to the 2 versus 2 quite quickly. Z8Z is in behind. Can he get the cut off here? It looks like the answer may well. Ooh,
nice.
Just yes, it's effort, but he gets it. So should be secured. Bartak's position pretty well known. He's got a kit. Might get a little weird out here. They're pretty far away from the bomb. He's just going straight in for the hold as well, and you never know. He might just get away from it. Oh my God,
no!
The flash blinds up Salmon. Z8Z is late. You've got to be joking.
Oh, this is a bit of a nightmarish start for Rare Atom. That's just increased that fact tenfold. The flash is unbelievable, man.
God. It's the coach and the stand-in, you know, trying to make a play together.
I know.
That's rough.
Listen,
that's very, very rough.
Listen, we're 5 rounds in to ESL Challenger League Asia Pacific this season. Already we've got a very Asia Pacific round. I love it. But I hate it. I'm sure Atom do too.
Indeed. Indeed. Okay, let's see if Rare Atom can bounce back here. This is, you know, where you'd hope some of the experience that you've got trickled into this team can just calm everyone down, take it in their stride, but that's quite a tough one to stomach. They still have the money to buy, of course, which I think is the important thing here.
Summer is up through short. Pressure for the pit player, and he's very much aware of that. Right-click smoke to try and keep himself alive. Summer gets his one, but once again, Nine is doing some great work. Unfortunately, this time he gets swarmed from long as well, and there's not really much he can do about that one. Down to Beckel in pits, and yeah, not going to be good for much more than that. This should be the Rare Atom round.
Yes. Which is a great response. You know, you just lost a real toughie that's kind of out of your hands, and now they're able to just move into the next quite easily. Actually, not a lot of cash available for the Huns, so I think that this save is pretty important for their buy into the next round. An awkward fight there. Same kind of applies for Rare Atom, that they also do not have a lot of cash. A late move to try and maybe mount the retake. Looking for damage, I suppose. Zeralt's going to get it. Saves the AWP. So, you know, it's the best of a bad situation here, but Rare Atom will get that first.
Yeah, that's... Honestly, if the Huns are to lose their first round of the game, that is literally the best case scenario. Kill everyone, save the AWP. I appreciate them sticking around and not just, you know, bunkering down on B when that was probably an option many people would take, right? They had some opportunities to damage that money, and they did. Sure, Rare Atom can have everything they want here, but they're residual cash, and that's what they played that situation for. And to save the AWP, of course, too. Cobra, down he goes with the flashes. He's blind, of course, himself, but he's got himself in toward the tree position. And that nade will actually give Nine a chance to fire off and take Summer down.
Yeah, not much you can do about that. Getting taken down through the smoke, maybe making a bit too much noise, and you could argue information gathered by Cobra. It's an educated guess through the smoke, I would imagine, from the AWP. Not going to work out, unfortunately, as things will continue unraveling for the Rare Atom side of things. 5 versus 3 now.
It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes, like, in these leagues, you see a different name in the kill feed to what's actually on the HUD, of course, because they do differ. Steam names can show up sometimes when they're not supposed to. And, like, Vekil's name is, like, Key Glock 33. Like, where does that come from compared to his actual in-game alias right now? The one that's shown on HLTV. It's kind of amusing in a way. But this is looking pretty comfortable for the Huns once again here. They're going to swarm on toward Kaze. He can't do anything entering from the apartments. And as I said, that damage they did in the previous round, only the coach can buy now for Rare Atom. So it was impactful.
Indeed. Indeed. I think talking of responses, as we have a couple times now, that's a brilliant one from the Huns. This is looking like a pretty complete game from them, in fact. And as I say, it could be a fantastic start to the season for them and really spur them forwards. Nine playing ever confidently, and I think this is kind of what he's able to do when everything comes together. He is a fantastic AWPer. Cobra covering his retreat in this round, gets himself 3 before being taken down, but rotations the help already here. It's a nice trade out from Kaze to just keep things... Oh, interesting. And just as I was talking him up, Nine's missed a little bit of a sitter there. Allows Kaze the space to get in here. He's left low. Could certainly take this AWPer down and really make this a dangerous, dangerous round. He's on high. He's been spotted. It's a tough angle for Bartek to beat, but now that they know where he's at, surely this one is going to be over. 1 HP and potentially a dream here for Kaze. No one giving him the peaks right now. Full respect mode from the Huns to just make sure they absolutely confirm this round. An off angle from Nine will work out in the end.
Nicely judged. Just the faster paced round, of course, for Raratum with that lesser weaponry. Up Banana, trying to make something happen. They got a couple of kills, sure, but probably the most they could have hoped for. Kaze now on his AWP. It is a glass cannon AWP on Inferno T side of all things, so he's going to have to be super careful around all the inevitable grenades. And around 9, because he's been superb so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I mentioned in the pre-show. You know, they have 9. They have Zeralt, the 2 guys alongside Cobra that are looking really solid. And these are individuals that can have a massive, massive impact in the game. And, you know, 9, of course, on the most impactful weapon. He has missed Z8Z here. He did take a little bit of fire damage. We might get caught by it. But no, not fast enough. The AWP is too good. And, man, he's so quick on these peaks, you know, just very, very confident to flick, take the shot. There is indeed a margin for error, but he'll take 3, I'm sure. That's got to be the round in the bag.
Fine, we'll reload it, but you know what? He can just go for more here. Why not? The round's pretty much sorted, it feels like, in a 5 versus 2. He's playing it a bit safer now, but now he's got rifler support toward long as well in the form of Cobra. He just feels more confident to maybe even try and take all 5 here. And Raratum are insistent on trying to face him, whether it's trying to smoke him off or just jump out and try and trade him. Kaze tried it once. Bartek's going to make a massive sound cue there, which is a bit awkward, but he's got time to fall away. Little jiggle peeking toward the apps there. Now they figure out what's going on. Some are removed by Key Glock 33, otherwise known as Vetchel. Not entirely sure on the pronunciation. Someone feel free to correct me in chat on that one if you know. But Kaze will get 1 trade, but unfortunately for Raratum, no more than that. And they're under pressure right now. The Huns are doing what, to be fair, actually, Scriv is kind of expected of them playing its 2 stand-ins.
This is true. This is very true. I think, you know, Raratum have had a couple mares in places, but ultimately they're just not quite on the same page, are they? You know, 9's proven that quite a few times with his just continued peak shot, and getting away with it, right? He either lands it, which is credit to him as well, or he's able to get away a lot of the time as well. You know, they don't quite have the confidence and the protocols and the spacing and all this kind of, you know, buzzwords, as it were, to deal with him and their banana control, for example, you know, just not quite looking good enough. Kaze got the right idea. I think he might have been rewarded with a frag if he stuck on that one. Meanwhile, at the top end, Banana, once again, the control that or lack thereof that we've talked about, rears its ugly head. Huns come away with 2. We have seen the coach himself try and wrestle them back into this, though, with a frag on the A-bomb site.
They're just going to continue to play aggressive, though, and why not when you've got the manpower toward Banana as well. Finally, Kaze will answer back with another, but, you know, again, having to save the AWP in the previous round, he was, as I described, saving an AWP that was glass cannon, right? So he can't just buy armor. He had no money, so yeah, it's super awkward for him and will continue to be. It's 1 versus 2. He's got the ball on his back, sure, and a whole minute to play with. There's one man that could wrestle a unwinnable round into a winnable one. It would be Kaze. Seen it many, many times over the years. Back in the Vici Gaming days, I think it was. One of his original teams that made waves at big events in S-tier competition. He's going to make noise dropping down, I'm afraid, though. And 9 had his USP out, knowing that he was low. And Kaze will grab it.
A change in skins for 9, but still on the same weapon. You know, some kind of disrespect in there, you know, to use your opponent's weapon against him, something like that. But yeah, looking very, very good here as we come to the tail end of this first half. The Huns, as I kind of said, I think this is maybe of the 2 maps their preferred, as it does fit into the realms of probably their best map, I think. Anubis coming up next. I don't think it's really one that they play very much, if at all, actually, I think, if my memory serves me. So it could be a very different tale into that second map, but just with the way that things are looking here, the confidence of the Huns players, the ability of the Huns players really coming to a head. They have looked like the better squad. In this round, maybe not so much. We've had kills all over the place, a lot in towards that A area, and A is now completely open. So retake required from the B-boys.
There's absolutely no reason why they won't give this one a decent look as well. We've got that kit on Zerolt and Util. He's actually choosing to go the long way around as well. I think he knew there was one player rotating round the apartment. So he might think that's the last place they will mainly consider, but with a double pit setup, it's going to be very difficult to get past. Coach is going to be forced into the open. Z needs to be careful, and he will get burnt out. Now there are issues, but Cobra is stuck on default, and there is a crossfire intact that is going to be impossible to get by. So Rare Atom do double their score after a long wait.
All right, let's see if we can triple it. You know. Is a 9-3 workable? Would you say 9-3 is doable, or does it feel like the game's still over at that
I'm still favouring the Huns quite significantly, and going on this performance, knowing that Rare Atom have a map going into the second BO1, that is one that they play a lot of and aren't incredibly successful on. It does make me wonder if the Huns are looking at this game thinking this is a wonderful opportunity to get maximum points today. I have a sneaking suspicion they could take both.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, I very much think so, given the, circumstances, for sure. But I still think that there's a chance they could have, given the full strength Rare Atom a little bit of a run for their money.
Yeah.
Potentially just on the one map, but yeah, they have taken this opportunity by the throat, really. 9 continues looking strong, and we are trained in on him here, as he is trained in on these mid angles. Flash comes over, gives them the space. It's a weaker A bomb site, so they do have to be a bit wary of that double Molotov to keep them at bay. Nice little crossfire setup here. The flashes are good. Beckel and 9, however, both chiming in. 9 missing a couple of shots, and that's, the shooting from the hip kind of style that he has can, of course, betray him, but in the end, the teammates are there to clean things up. 10-2 at the turn of the half. You feel like it should be enough for the Huns. We'll catch you in a few after the break.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
that's so overrated. Yeah, if you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation. Yeah, there's a comfort in the crawl. Now I've been on my feet.
We're back to what is an incredibly impressive performance thus far by the Huns. Sure, maybe vaguely expected, knowing they're going up against two stand-ins on Meratum, including their coach, who isn't exactly a star player, going by previous games that we've seen. But yeah, you know, what can you do sometimes? It's a great opportunity to get the first BO1 in their favour, and possibly even the second as well, with this current situation. Great performances from the likes of Nine and Zeralt and Cobra as well. Across the board, the Huns are looking pretty confident and aggressive too.
Oh,
Whoa.
USPs coming out on top. Pretty clean there. Nice find from Nine on this P250, though. He just doesn't quite check his angles. That is unfortunate. Felt like he'd gotten himself into a really nice kind of flanking position. Trying to mess with the info here on the Hun side of things. Feels like their only option, to be honest with you. The bomb, of course, is nowhere near Vekel here, who's just sort of chilling out in the apartments, trying to stay alive, trying to be the distraction. Smoke for smoke. Not really ideal. Zeralt is going to have to win this fight, and he doesn't. So there goes the round. There goes the hope. They know where Vekel is at, and surely not long for this world. Tapped down, finished off, and Rare Atom, they buy themselves some time.
I wonder how much time that will be. 10-2 is a long way back, but yeah, winning a anti-eco, first gun round, another eco of course will follow. Easily turn into a 10-6 game very quickly. Actually, it's a full force, so it could even be a bit faster than that if they can deal with the force, of course, because there's a lot coming their way here, and there's a good flash top mid, and wow, Rare Atom were not ready for that. That completely cancels out my thought process, and I reckon this is a 5 versus 3 that is going to be very hard to lose.
Yeah, very problematic, isn't it? You know, when you're dropping down to the force buys like this, it's now just 2 that remain, so one would argue absolutely no chance. Salmon somewhat fancies his chances. It will cost him his life for even thinking about it. But yeah, that's tough. And I think that Rare Atom, it's some of those issues we've talked about. The coordination, the comms potentially being a little messy. And it's a real test of your base level is playing against that force buy that comes at you quick. It's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate indeed. But Rare Atom, maybe an opportunity for them into this next round to maybe bounce back, while the money of the Huns is pretty low. But the closer that the Huns get to 13, you know, as early as this especially, like, it's just always good. They can afford to lose a couple here if push comes to shove.
And just recovering all the guns from the CT side just makes it ever nicer, doesn't it? I mean, sure, FAMAS maybe not so much, but a couple of A1Ss just keeps it free for them. Now the force buy wars will commence.
Slow roll up here in the apartments. The Huns trying to change the pace ever so slightly. Zeralt, I think if he was backed up here, yeah, maybe he thought he was as well with how deep he was going. Could have made a move on to the balcony. But they're just playing it patiently, keep the control. More of a banana play. Flash a little bit off. Ooh, the return flash is quite nice as well, but nobody committed around that corner just yet, so no chance of the kills. The deep smoke comes in, going to keep them at bay, but there's just really nothing coming off for Rare Atom. You know, they want a kill, they need a lead, some kind of control, and the Huns are not giving it.
lovely entry though.
Falling forwards
Bit awkward with the
FAMAS to
FAMAS.
lead the charge, yeah. Looking a little sideways. The entries into the sites eventually going to work out for them. Just Salmon that remains, and he's on the wrong side of the map here, it would seem.
C said 1 versus 4. Let's go, baby. I think I've seen like 1vx with a CZ in the last like 6 years of Counter-Strike, probably. Nothing doing.
It doesn't get as much.
Takes him.
Doesn't get as much screen time anymore. The CZ, it feels like, you know.
Nah, the 5-7
5-7
too good.
too strong. Tech 9 too strong. You know, it's a shame, really.
Very impressive map from the Huns. We thought going into this, you know, being basically the full roster, that they probably would be the favourites, realising the rare atom standing situation, and we think that is going to continue to be the case. 12-3. It could very much be a 13-3 as well. The buy they've got to go up against, 2 MP9s, 2 Deagles. Very light util. Won't even need to ever get rid of that FAMAS or M4. They might keep it to the end of the game. And the performance from 9 on that first half with the AWP was particularly impressive to watch.
Yeah, looking pretty good here for the Huns to close things out as, you know, taking a much more tempered approach to their T side than Rare Atom were. Much more bursty from Rare Atom. Didn't quite work for them, so Huns maybe showing them how it is done here. Swing comes in, and Bartak, I think, with that frag has pretty much just closed the game for me. The remaining 2 CTs are completely cut off and split, so just isolated 1v1s. And it is Mr. Salmon, the stand-in, maybe on a trial. Who knows? It's a nice shot, but he's not going to get anything else done for the game, and that will be the Huns to take this particular best of 1, the first map of the 2-map series, of course. And they take it in pretty decisive fashion. I think that, you know, when it comes to picking as much as you possibly can in a BO1, that's definitely the map that they would have wanted. So
yeah,
maybe, just maybe, we've got Rare Atom giving them a bit too much confidence, a bit too much room to work with. But this is the double stand-in kind of situation that Rare Atom have got right now, and the Huns have absolutely abused it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last time they played, of course, as well, and Inferno went Rare Atom's way, but it was Anubis that went the Huns' way in that BO3 on LAN in Mongolia, and that, obviously that was also with the coach, you know, Z8Z, but that was, now you've got the 2 standing situation. You think maybe they could even win it a little bit easier? We'll have to see, because although that Anubis, as we've spoken about, is a map that Rare Atom are very happy to go toward in nearly every situation, it's not just internationally they struggle on it, it's also regionally. You know, they've lost to Endpoint, lost to VP, but they've also lost to the Huns, as I mentioned. They've lost to Eruption, another Mongolian team, Atox, another Mongolian scene. That Mongolian scene is very strong these days, and also Lin Vision most recently, earlier on this year. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a bit worrying for them at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be a tough one here for them to continue out, but we'll see. We'll see. Things can change in an instant, particularly in this region. We're going to take a quick break here, folks, but when we are back, it's that second map. We got Anubis coming up.
from a previous day. Grab the keys from off the counter, commute into the city, gonna take another hour. Man, I hate trading time for a way. At least I got a home and a job that pays. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat, told to drive.
Well, thank you very much, Johnson. I've been very lucky down here. Feeling better than I did up north.
Collars itching, face switching, another cup of joe and I'm fine. Come 5, I can burn a fresh dime. Lifting up the burdens, putting weight on my mind. Bet if I didn't chase that and embrace distractions, master my lack of faith and break through. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat, told to drive. I'm holding out as I fight. I feel my colors wash away. Been finding my ground in the light of the hours I can claim. 'Cause in time I restore my complexion and find that I left my distractions behind. In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat, told to drive. I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal. I never lose, I'm bulletproof. Best in the game, we all know my name. Can't run now, it's too late. Got winning in my blood, in my DNA. It's destiny.
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. And then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. And then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Do you feel a little down? Say it, no problems. Let you in, but you out. Sing it, no problems. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Have none I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Have none I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems.
We're not the only ones. 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 Days gone. I won't waste another one. All that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Take me back to you.
We are back, and the Huns, well, you know what? They've done super good work thus far today, and maybe to be expected when you're playing up against two stand-ins, but you know what? I can't take that away from them, because that was a brilliant performance on map 1, especially from a man by the name of 99, or 9, as we say quickly.
Yes, I mean, it is difficult to say. Perhaps we shall have to pick his brains at some point. Fingers crossed there's going to be a few more events going on in Mongolia, so we might get out there to ask him, is it 9-9 or 9? But no, I think it is just 9. of course. And yeah, he played very, very well. We highlighted him as one of the players to sort of watch on this Huns team. And yeah, you can see as the stats come up, he's just sort of lights out. There were a good handful of rounds, in fact, where he was just on those, maybe over peaks, maybe over swinging, might get punished by a few players that are a bit faster over in EU. But in that Inferno, he was sort of taking over the game for sure, and just some beautiful multi-frag rounds. So if they can look to him again, rely on him again, that would be big, as we've talked about and touched on in this series so far. Anubis, bit more up in the air, right? It's one that the Huns won previously, but Rare Atom are maybe slightly more comfortable on this map. That being said, they've got the reps, which we like to look at within the tier 2 scene for sure. Got to be careful, take it with a pinch of salt who they've been playing. I'm sure there's a few major games spattered in there for Rare Atom, but in terms of the wins, maybe not as hot as they would like, to be honest with you. So again, it's all very, very much guesswork into this one. How are they going to fare with the stand-ins? Can the Huns have those same kind of individual performances? These are all questions I think that will get answered in time. We're actually kicking things off with a little bit of a knife round here to just get full traction. And I think it is actually pretty important, the knife round on Anubis. That T-sided start can give you an awful lot of momentum, again, particularly in a region like this where the T-sides tend to move a little faster.
Yeah, that's something we always talk about with the CT side on this map as well, right? I mean, you need lots of aggression. Like if you play static on CT on Anubis, you will lose. Pretty simple. So yeah, I have to see how it goes in this one. Rare Atom will get the start on their T side. Zed, the coach, Salmon, the stand-in. Let's see if the Huns can do the double over them on this map and today. With both the BO1s, they beat them on Anubis in that Mongolian land toward the end of last year, which was a very impressive performance from them. To take one map on LAN, you'd expect maybe Rare Atom on LAN to look a little bit cleaner, but they did play with their coach that day as well. Maybe that was a contributing factor. Today it's a coach and a stand-in, so probably why that map of Inferno went the way it did. Let's see if there's any difference coming in here. Bartak, of course, Mzinio's older brother. One of the most known names. Both of them now are some of the most known names in Mongolian and Asian Counter-Strike. Zinio is a very well-known name in World Counter-Strike. It's crazy how far those lads have come. And that's what some of these other Mongolian players and other players from this region are looking to do in their futures.
Okay, so as we get into things here, it is full sets of armor for both sides, in fact. No utility at all, which does leave a few question marks. The Huns looking to make those aggressive moves that you were talking about here on the CT side, both through A main and through Dark there. Zeralt will stick around and find the head of the first. Oh, and that is quick from Bartak. He wants a few more for his trouble as well. He's going to get them. Can he make this 3? Is the big question, of course. The round itself looks like it has been firmly put in the bag here. Salmon and Kaze left to try and do what they can. Salmon quite deep in towards A. Nothing comes out for him. Kaze's position vaguely known, now fully known, and it's a drive-by from 9 to see it off. A flawless pistol to kick off Anubis for the Huns.
Yeah, very comfortable in the end. Not a single frag found by Rare Atom. To go for with a couple of deagles, so I'll be a little bit disadvantaged on the first gunman. Probably a couple of Galils rather than all AKs across the board. And once again, talking about that aggression, they know that's going to probably be a relatively comfortable round when it comes to having the weaponry advantage, so they try and go and assert that dominance right now. Nice shot.
Driving forwards to finish the round here. We will have it slightly robbed away, but again, looking pretty comfortable. No sweat off the brow thus far for the Huns side. Rare Atom going to have to give us something moving into this first rifle. They've opted, you know, to go for the early AKs, as is very much on trend at the moment. But they lack a bit of utility, so might have been nice to see a MAC-10 here for a full belt of nades. Maybe even a Galil could have facilitated that, but they've gone 5 AKs again, looking to fight as much as they possibly can, it feels like.
The Zed in tasked with playing that default position on rugs with the teammate supporting Canal, and well, Veckel wants to go have a quick look out there and get taken down immediately. And yeah, you brought it up, and we mentioned it. I thought they'd actually go down to Galils, but they're actually going to all AKs across the board. Very limited utility because of that. Sure, they've got a pick early game, but it's been responded nicely by 9, so they're going to have to just try and entry their way in, and so much damage is being taken while trying to go for that. It's a very awkward opening fight. Someone tries to push forward as well on a timing, thinking maybe they'll be distracted elsewhere, but no, Zerolt finds it. The lack of util is proving to make this round very difficult indeed.
Yeah, a lot of brute force here from Rare Atom thus far. Not as much depth to the game as perhaps they need. The Huns looking more and more comfortable as it goes on. We'll see. Salmon, new kid on the block. He has been heard here. So Cobra is ready for one at the very least. An off angle works nicely. And Child King with 17 HP. A wing and a prayer for this. We'll see. He's got that bomb in tow. He's got a smoke. He might just be able to get the money bagged in. He's actually looking to take an early fight. Nothing comes. Smoke goes down. Plant will be secured, but this obviously just gives his position away, which was kind of the one thing he was working with. The element of surprise in behind the pillar here. Nasty little angle. Nobody going to come towards him from that position, though. And it's an easy finish, of course, in the end. I think they'll still take the bomb plant, given the way that the round panned out. It allows them some options into the next.
Yep, that was handy indeed. That could make a big difference, actually. When they had absolutely nothing going into that situation. Probably the maximum he could have hoped for. And when as soon as he got the bomb planted, just 2 incendiaries either side of him. He was actually lucky to hop away in the time that he did. But easy clear up for the Huns once again. Whoopsie. We don't like to see that. Zerolt now has to play around with 39 HP from the beginning. And Bartek has to play from 0.
Happens to the best of us, as they say. But, yeah, it's going to make a difference now, of course, as you say, with that early frag coming in. Oh, Cobra pushing forwards. Dangerous game. Flash is in. The timing is pretty perfect on it, but I think they were just a bit too ready round that corner. Chow King's going to find the double entry here. Zerolt trades back, but he's smoked off, of course. Can they really go in for this? Zerolt not feeling super confident. The money is there. But this is one of those where it feels a bit futile. You maybe just move for the save, right? See if anything comes your way, potentially, but surely not going to be able to get this done. Would be a hell of a thing if they do. Flash over the top. Doesn't reveal anybody, and yeah, I think that's going to sell it, that it's just time to back off and concede the round. So Rare Atom. I mean, look, Zerolt got knifed in the back. It doesn't really make much of a difference. He got a kill. It doesn't affect his game. He doesn't go down. He doesn't take any further damage. So I think Rare Atom have won the round regardless of that slim advantage that they had, unbeknownst to them.
Yeah, they wouldn't have known about that, that's for sure. If Zerolt was full HP, I do wonder if he wanted to actually go in for that. Because he had the... I think that nade, he was looking to get a kill with it. If he threw it main rather than the sort of jail cubby there, might have taken Salmon down, and then may have said go when they had a defuse kit in play. But yeah, I think the decision was made up for them in the end. Save is good because it means they can afford everything in the following round, including all the full utility belts. Right, let them get a really important handlehold in the game. Early game, though. They were nowhere on Inferno, getting used to playing with their coach in the stand-in. See how much that first map has helped them.
A few flashes ringing out here. But it is more about the slow build-up play from Rare Atom. They've managed, yeah, to squeeze in towards middle. The Huns taking their eyes off of it has really cost them. A lot of control lost. 2 frags now lost as well. That's got to be an immediate save. And, you know, it's one thing to leave mid open. It's another to be like, hopefully they don't notice, you know, we'll just forget about it. And you get completely blindsided. So very well played and found by Rare Atom there.
Starting to find a bit of a grip of this game now. Starting to get their individuals into play. We mentioned Child King. He was our player to watch at the beginning of the game. Hasn't really had much chance to do much, but this game now, a double entry in the previous round, has had a double entry in this one. They're down now. They look to try and hunt these guns, but I don't even mind going for this choice because they've got a little bit of residual cash to make this worth it. There's another nice headshot from Summer. Seems that only Zeralt remains. He's trying his best to stay alive, but he just can't. The coach, Z8Z, manages to get that trade in the end, and that means only he survives, but nobody on the Huns does, which means they are pretty much full eco.
Yeah, looking good here for Rare Atom. Presenting a little bit more in this game, which is good. You know, they very, very quickly had a big hill to climb on that first map, and I think, you know, you look at that, the state of the team, and it's a difficult thing to get your head around. But if you're able to just keep it going, keep it competitive, you've got Child King especially, who was our sort of highlight player coming into this. And he's looking very, very good on these entry points. It was more of a B stack here for the Huns, and unfortunately they went A, so it's another round that the Huns just don't get a look in at.
I was giving it a bit of a deeper look, of course, considering the situation that Rare Atom find themselves in, right? Z8Z has been around the scene for a very long time. Of course, he's 35 now, and yeah, that's definitely why he's transitioned into the coach role. He played on a team that I think was maybe the precursor to Wings Up back in 2017. He was running a couple of teams in the sort of the Asian scene at that sort of era of Counter-Strike 16-17. But when it comes to coaching, it was when he transitioned to that, he was on some very, very well-known teams, of course. Flash Gaming, they made a major, that blue sort of tiger logo. Vici Gaming for a little while as well, when they were called VG. That was, sort of, was a team that I think had Flash Gaming as a sponsor for a while. Sort of teamed up, merged orgs, and then moved over to Rare Atom early last year. That was his foray back into coaching after being sort of away from the scene for a couple of years. And yeah, I'm sure it's a surprise to him that he's having to play in a couple of these ones, that's for sure. But he's down in this round. 9 good opening.
Ooh. Trying again for the mid control here. This time it has been watched for, not quite as successful maybe. Nice play around the smoke though. Child King knows there's another one here. That's not an AWP. So he is searching. He is looking. This is a weird game state right now. Cobra finds 1, nearly 2 on the B-bomb site. Felt like Veckel was maybe in position to deal with Child King, but then they've ditched on the idea, and the bomb decides to try and join his teammate over on A, but 9 is too smart for that. 50 seconds remain here. Child King, great impact from him thus far, not only in this round, but in this game. He's looking now to keep it up. Clean headshot onto the AWP. It's all down to Veckel to save the day here. Child King trained in on the wrong angle, but spots out the player, gets his hands on the bomb, and he is high-tailing it out of there. Not interested in a fight. He wants this plant. He wants to reset the game.
A lot of impact here for Child King in the last 2 or 3 rounds. Up his tally to 9, and he could be about to make it double digits with a 1 versus 1 here, up against Veckel. He's got utility, but he's lacking a kit. He's making a lot of noise, and that makes it ever so easy for Child King. He's on the server, and Rare Atom are now firing.
That is a rough one, man. That is a rough one for sure. The Huns now getting a taste of their own medicine. Rare Atom, of course, had a few difficult rounds at the start of Inferno, and now it is the Huns that are having a few difficult ones here. Felt like such a good game state, man. You drop that bomb in the middle of nowhere. Like, yeah, just felt like it was done.
Yeah.
But they fumble it. They fumble it big style. Maybe just not quite knowing what to do or how to communicate that cleanly. Bartak has flown down in towards water here. Oh, the Julie's will let him down, however. Feels like he should have had one at least from there. The damage done here is absolutely massive across the board, but the kills have been going the way of Rare Atom, so should be able to solidify yet another round. Looking good. Cobra against the world.
That's pretty frustrating there for the Huns, actually, because, like, that strat they just put into play with the pistols to go super aggressive, if they had rifles and made that strat and called it, they would have probably had like a 5v3 very quickly, right? It's just the weaponry that let them down, really. Sure, there are some whiffs with the dualies. It could have gone the other way, but it's a guarantee with the M4 when you've got a back turned like that. And, yeah, maybe they'll think to themselves, okay, maybe later on in the half, once they've forgotten about that play, we'll try it again, because that seemed to work out quite well for them. Zwart was also unfortunate when he came into that position and judged the swing nicely, and then finally made his way forward, but was caught mid-jump up onto the little bridge on the canal. So it works out for Rare Atom, but it, you know, maybe wasn't as comfortable as it may have looked. But now the next gun round coming in for the Huns. A1Ss across the board, no AWP on 9. Rare Atom have now built into the game and have built up some money as well, especially on Child King and Z8Z.
Yeah, this is kind of what we were soft predicting. You know, is there going to be a turnaround from Rare Atom? They're certainly capable of it on the back of Child King at the moment. But it is that stronger T side. Cobra's just gathered a lot of information here as they move in. Decent damage, decent find. Zeralt just now needs to stay alive. Takes the fight very, very well there. So a solid advantage. Yes, the bomb is going to go down, but this looks like a really, really good spot for the Huns to be in, fully surrounding this B-bomb site and just looking to get it cleanly. Zeralt playing patiently. They know where he is, and he is also aware of that fact. He's played it brilliantly from down there. You know, that's 2 kills that it feels like maybe he shouldn't have had all that easily. They felt like good trade opportunities, but just playing in and around the dark angle very, very cleanly. There we have the Huns back on the board, and you know, Rare Atom have been playing well here, Trav, but that doesn't give them a massive lead, so this could flip quite fast.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, as I said, last time they played this map was on LAN. It was only with the coach, not 2 stand-ins, and the Huns beat them. And 4 on CT is certainly not bad, and they can make it a lot more still in the last few rounds of the half. Good little retake there in the end, just making sure they didn't lose many members in that retake. Zeralt standing tall in that E-box position. Flashing toward mid. Moving the players off that angle. Bartak will go down to Kaze though, and that's the Kaze up getting into the server too. Child King going super aggressive. That flash has half blinded him when he was making his way through. Pre-aims the little pillar, no one there. And now Kaze's down thanks to the flash swing from 9, but he can't double up.
Yeah, this is a difficult one now for the Huns to deal with, of course. Both players completely split. Super early fights going down. The Huns trying to fight back pretty heavily. Somewhere on the crack angle. Spots the info at the very least. Beckel trying to get himself into a good position here. Could have good timing on this. No! Check in the corner a little too well almost. He does come away with one, but just spam down easily on the low HP. Cobra on the rotation. Again, not bad timing. It's just so many numbers to take down. Does he really want to stick around for this? He's got a fair bit of cash. I think after eating the nade, he's going to say no. They could actually cobble together a buy in the next with his drop, so Rare Atom take the round, but the Huns lick their wounds and look to fight another day.
Yeah, that was simple, but it was pretty effective. It went a bit faster as well, that Rare Atom on that round when it came to their other gun rounds. Happy to put numbers sort of together across the map, spread out. The way they sort of bounced off each other's flashes, opponents and their own in mid. Got Kaze in entry, did get taken down, but 9 not being able to double up made the difference. It would have made it a 3v3, would have had a chance to fall back.
All right. Let's see. I think, you know, if you're getting 5 for me on the CT side, you can kind of be satisfied with that. If they can keep it even at 6, then I think we really do have a game here. But Rare Atom looking to move ahead to the 8-4 scoreline, I think could be very, very difficult to get a handle on. Again, the Huns looking for aggression. Didn't quite work for them in the previous round, so maybe a few changes to the methodology here can make a difference. The flanks covered out this time around as well. Kaze does take one pushing A. So there are a few question marks around the Huns. So it's like, you know, maybe pick one area of the map to focus your attention, not pushing everywhere all at once. It can work from time to time, however.
Oh, 9 has crept through. That's something that Child King was not expecting. That's a lovely little play to make. That's an AK upgrade as well. Just leaves Kaze and Z8Z together. Coach and Orpa. They can entry the A-site player, Bartak, or at least trade their way in. Maybe Kaze gets a chance to trade it. We'll set him up in a 1 versus 3, and you never know from there. It is Kaze after all. That's a good angle taken up, though. Bartak has got too much experience to let any madness go down here. Z8Z will go down. There's already a flank in play. 9 deals with Kaze comfortably. 4 players alive for the Huns, and it means they've got everything they want in this final round of the half and a chance to even it up. And that would be pretty solid on CT Anubis for sure.
All right, let's see. I think I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Huns. You know, as I said, the aggression has been temperamental, but they're sort of sticking with it. They have a few solid ideas, you know, that I think that they're not afraid to continue pushing. Ooh, Child King mollied out, a little awkward, but he does make it down just as the smoke looms there. What are we doing on this CT side? Again, just trying to keep their presence. It's middle this time around that they're feeling a bit more confident with.
Bit of chip damage across the board. The molly seen by Cardio means that he'll realise that he doesn't need to hold that for much longer because they probably won't be peeking that. But that's a great entry from Z8Z. Oh my word! The second is disgusting. 9, probably the star of the series, has been destroyed by Rare Atom's coach. 4 versus 3. Salmon's still lurking in mid and gets the perfect timing on Cobra's rotation. He was giving that a glance but looks away at the last second. Now Bartak needs to probably do it all. He knows where 2 players reside. But how is he going to be able to deal with them? The answer is he can't. As Zeralt gets taken down as well, and Rare Atom recover this one slightly. They're showing a little bit more form now. They'll edge the first half 7-5.
Welcome back in here. We are moving into the second half shortly. I think things are kind of heating up quite a lot for me. This has panned out to be a pretty interesting game. We'd maybe not completely written off Rare Atom, but the Huns obviously look very, very good on map 1. Rare Atom nowhere near full strength. So we were expecting the Huns to maybe be in control. Now, what I will say, they are, I think, moving on to their more preferred side, of course.
Yes.
So could make a big difference here, especially if they pick up the pistol.
Again, it's a pretty similar setup to the couple of other pistol rounds we've seen in this series. Not much utility in play. None for the Huns. Just the dualies being committed to on Rare Atom. Being dropped over by Salmon. Oh, actually been given a lot of space in mid as well. Rare Atom are happy to let them have it. Child King is flanking, so maybe that's why. It could be, you know, maybe even 2-3 kills in the back here if they don't check this flank. But it is actually looked at pretty sharpishly there by Bartek. That's quite well aware of that situation. Well, the fact they're sort of shifting forward across the map, sure, they might think to themselves, oh, okay, we've got quite a lot of control here, but they've just shifted into the crosshairs of some of their opponents, I'm afraid.
Oh, Summer goes unchecked. Has only come away with the one. Maybe felt like there was an opportunity for a bit more, and you see what happens. Leave the wrong people alive, and they can turn the round upside down. Z8Z and Salmon, the only ones that remain. Salmon finds a clean one there to leave it just down to Cobra on this Hun side of things. Already done a great job of recovering things back. Or for a second there, you thought, maybe, just maybe. You see those Julies spamming away, not really landing very much. It just takes one headshot to turn things around, but not going to happen. And just in the end, it will be Rare Atom taking it. Felt like it was going to be a lot more dominant than that, so credit to the Huns, but they couldn't quite get it over the line.
I mean, last time we saw Salmon and Z8Z in a 2vx, that didn't go too well, did it, on Inferno? So I'm glad this one has recovered their confidence. What was that? The expected outcome this time. Oh, they can work out a bit of a lead, perhaps, if they can avoid this force buy. Of course, they did get force bought on in the previous map. They're opening BO1 on Inferno. There was that push top mid that just destroyed them. And with that plant, of course, there's a good chance this is going to be pretty scary with these tech lines up close. Got decent util as well. They're already sort of getting themselves ready in that E-box area. They're going to rush their way in now. There will be a very quick flanking play. Child King once again is sort of exploring all over the map, and Kaze, he has to stay alive, but he can't for much longer. Now it does rest on Child King. I mentioned it earlier. And now he's going to be in play. Are they ready for this so quickly? They are not. That is one freebie. It's back into a 2v2, but now it's all has to be Child King. And he has not got a kit picked up as well. I think there's might be one littered around the site, but it's Cobra and Vekel, and they're doing a great job of staying alive right now. There's the information on the first. He tries to dive somewhere near the bomb, but without that kit, going for a 10-second stick when there are two players there. Nades available as well to blow it open. It ain't gonna happen. It's another force buy, mate.
Yeah, somewhat of a mess in that sense. It most certainly feels like here. Rare Atom have been struggling against the force buys throughout this series, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's going to come back to bite them. A pretty bad time, you know. They wanted, I think, to get a solid buffer there, get you 9, maybe even 10 rounds, and then you can really start to think about the late stage of the game, of your game, and how you're going to close things out. But now it has really changed the directive here. It's going to be quite that simple, but maybe, just maybe, they can win a force buy of their own. Starts off pretty damn well there for Child King.
It does, yeah, actually connecting with that spam in the end. Kaze's got a Nova, by the way, of all things. Don't get near that. That could give you a nasty surprise. The Huns know this is the round, right? They know this is the round that will get them back even and give them a big economic advantage.
Zarol, got to be careful with this move, man. They're after him. They are after him, and they're pretty confident with it. Z8Z on the fade away, 5-7. Really makes the numbers look good here. That is a clean find. However, Salmon just sticks out a bit too wide. Coach Z8Z on this AK going to have to really take matters into his own hands. He's denied at the very first hurdle. We got the Candy Apple Nova. Not sure what he's going to be able to get done with this, unfortunately. Oh.
Hang on.
Wait a minute.
Just put out the Nova and just quick scope this guy on the left. Go on. Go on. You did it. No, he's not doing it. I'm sad. I wanted to see it. 1 kill would be nice here. This money for cards actually with the Nova is actually pretty tasty. He's trying to keep them around the bomb as well, but not long enough. They shouldn't explode and shouldn't take them down. Yep, just in time. So, all the damage they managed to do was okay, but the Huns get away with it, and now they know they've got the full eco to face. So, they're going to be back even at the click of a finger.
Okay, let's see. This is a very, very curious kind of look. I think Rare Atom may well start to worry a little bit. They've got to get this next round on the board. They've got to get themselves to the double digits, I think, before the Huns... Well, this one starts to unravel. You know, CT side is maybe proving to be a bit more difficult, right? When you have this lack of basic team play. There are often unspoken things, you know, when you're on the CT side, it's like, okay, guy dies here, I back up, or maybe we opt to play aggressive, or I should rotate. You know, a lot of players do things independently on the CT side based on how the rules have been laid out before getting into the game. But when you've got a couple players that are not quite familiar with the systems, it can be harder to do things as fluidly.
Yeah.
Pick up from Kaze, but the round looking good for the Huns right here.
So hard to be cohesive and synergize in this sort of situation. Exactly. You know, the coach being in play, like, sure, it's definitely a disadvantage. He hasn't played terribly. I can't blame him, but it's like sometimes that can be okay because he knows the system. He's part of the whole conversation, isn't he? But you know, it's a coach understanding. That's a little bit different. That nade at the beginning of that round from the Huns, I think it did like 90 damage to Summer and Child King, so that full eco is never going to have much legs to it when it comes to damage, only to themselves. And now the money is good enough for the Huns to get 9 out on the T-side up. So far, the entire series has been pretty insane.
Here we go then, big round for both sides, of course. Summer to open things up. An aggressive move from Rare Atom to kick off their mini comeback campaign here. Zeralt looking to get the trade, and Summer got to be careful that he's not biting off a bit too much here. Timing going to be everything. He was set up, but Zeralt's just way too quick. Very big find. Leaves the B site kind of vulnerable here as well, so Rare Atom going to have to respond wisely and figure this one out.
I'm pretty sure on that jiggle as well, you saw the second player around jail, so he knows there's at least one, and you'd expect two now you've lost an opening pick on that side of the map. You'd expect a sort of a 2-2, 3-1 split at this point. And you've lost numbers in an important anchor role. This is the only choice they've got left now, and Kaze does well. That's Cobra on the ground. Restores the advantage. 45 seconds left in this one. The bomb will now be re-picked back up on the back of 9. And they have to make a decision because it's going to be hard to work their way through. Despite the fact they've got full utility, that's one of the main things that could give them a sniff.
Here we go. Salmon with the early flash just to keep them at bay. Molotov is decent, but Salmon's still able to hold this insurmountable position. I think he just proves to be the real problem. 9 looking to take them all down. We know him to be quick. They're lined up on top of each other. He's brought it down to the 1 versus 1. There's not a lot of time to work with, and it will be capitalized on by Child King. Knows that he's going to be panicked, you know, head on a swivel, looking everywhere for that final frag. It's a fair attempt from 9, but not the win that they so desperately desired.
Honestly, for 9... if you're going to lose the round, kind of some of the conversations we had earlier on Inferno, That's the best case scenario. They can still buy, sure, without the AWP. But Rare Atom only surviving with 1 player alive when it looked like at one point, right, with 10 seconds to go in the round, it could have been 4 players alive. That's a huge difference in just a few seconds. Being a bit overzealous there, trying to take Nine's AWP out of his hands. Charking only just getting the round, and he's not got the opening kill in this one. So now we've got issues for Rare Atom. Kaze is repositioned, but he knows it's a very common spot that he's in, and it's going to be hard to get out of there now.
Zeralt has managed to keep things in the 3 versus 3 despite the kills rolling back in for Rare Atom. Another big round on our hands, and you can certainly feel it, you know, with just how stepped up everybody is finding their fights. What is the plan here for the Huns? Rotating back around to give B a go. They've got a slight bit of mid control that they could really work with here if they're able to capitalize. Meanwhile, in towards Dark, Salmon goes hunting, and he starts to think maybe we're looking at more of an A play. He's kind of abandoned the B side of things, actually. 40 seconds left. Summer on the off angle, going to have to, you know, probably find at least 1, of course, but probably 2 from here. Timing has been missed. Salmon slipped the net ever so slightly. He's going to start to figure out that actually there's nobody around towards this A side of things. There's the 1. Oh, the flank from behind is messy. That should have been an easy kill for 9, and he knows it. A little bit of frustration there after he confirms it. Leaves him in a 1 versus 2. Absolutely should have been a 2 versus 2 from here. We'll see what he can do. He nearly clutched up in the previous. That was with the AWP. That was with a bit more HP. Not going to happen for him here, unfortunately, and Rare Atom get another retake going their way.
Oh, yeah, they're getting it by the fingernails, but they're keeping themselves in a conversation to at least tie this back-to-back best-of-1s, 1 apiece. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, 9 has been unbelievable this entire game, right? Not just with the AWP, but with the rifle too. He's been super clean, and that's probably why he's uber frustrated, knowing that he can be a better in that scenario and how much it changes the round. You're absolutely spot on. It would have been a 2v2. It would have been a decent afterplan. And it's also the fact that once he finally confirms the kill, he got spun upon and got dinked, right? If he was 100 HP in that clutch, he absolutely takes down Kaze. Maybe Kaze would have played it slightly differently. But he went in with a pistol, as we saw. Probably after realising his teammate told him that he was dinked. But still, would have been much more winnable for 9. In this case, not the case. So, alright. Up 10-8 against pistols. Surely they can't lose to more pistols.
ZAZ. Only 1. Is it enough? Is it enough? Bomb's going to get planted. A recovery of the rifle. Couple rifles now to work with, in fact. Oh, God, it's happening again. Down to just Child King before I can even get the words out. He's got to get through 3. The information now fully gathered, but he's just mowed down, and it's another force buy loss for the Rare Atom boys. Could have been their game by now if not for these losses against these low buys, but that is the way it goes, of course, and the Huns keeping themselves in the game.
Well, we know what Rare Atom's Achilles heel has been in this game, don't we? These fast pistol rounds. I mean, to be fair, I can't even blame Z8Z in that scenario, right? Like, he's in a tough position and he managed to get a 1-for-1, which is not easy. 9 being super aggressive with that molly in toward the E-box area. We'll push into it to try and get some information. Bit of a reload that's sort of come in there by accident, but there are no issues here. They've tied it back up at 10 apiece. And that was the force buy from Rare Atom. They couldn't get a single kill. Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, the game is totally turned.
Man, yeah, that is kind of insane. And those are the rounds as well, you know, when the pressure is on and when the stakes are a lot higher because you're at the end of the game. Losing a force buy like that is hard to keep everyone in high spirits and whatnot. You know, the situation's already a little bit messed up. And it's not even that I think people will be like arguing and shouting and stuff, which is maybe what, people out there in the chat. So, but people just, turtle inwards, maybe not as vocal, maybe don't express their feelings as much because they don't really know how it's going to go down, how people will react because you don't play with them as much. So yeah, really going to make a difference. We're on the low buy, very, very low buy for Rare Atom as they've got no armor to speak of. So the Huns, if they play things right here, which is apparently a challenge as we've seen throughout this series, they should be able to get themselves 11.
Gaze with the Mag 7. We've seen him try the Nova earlier on. Shotgun enthusiast. Nice shot. Nice Salmon pushing in to deal with Bartak. That gives him a AK to use. Unfortunately, no one on the team has Kevlar, so he'll probably just keep it for himself on 100 health. Toby will now work his way through. That's information on the first. There is a rotator coming in through CT and through connector, so they do need to be careful. But Nine's dealing with it all, and once again, looking superb. We've played 21 rounds, and he's got 26 kills. Pretty crazy. Kaze rotates in the same position that he was in with the Nova earlier, but this time does get a kill with the Mag 7, so that's actually worth it money-wise. There's a world in which he can afford the AWP now.
So here we are. Oh, right at the tail end. Kaze spotted him out. Knows what's up. Gets the headshot. Well played. Well bagged. Not jumping the gun too early. He's still got this Mag 7. Money making machine. He knows what's up. Sense of timing pretty good. He just can't shoot, bro. God damn it.
Shot too soon. He jiggled back behind the wall. If he didn't, he would have hit the shot.
SMH, as they say. But here we go. This is do or die for Rare Atom.
That did mean a lot, as you can see. That one Mag 7 kill was enough to afford an AWP and a bit of util as well. Even Kevlar. But look at this. They want to try and take matters into their own hands, and they've got multiple players here, and somehow actually get away with a disadvantage off the back of that. That is not what I expected. They did so much damage. They were up so fast as well. They'd got them pinned into the cubby, but good reactions from the Huns to hit those headshots close range. 9 gets one, Bartak gets one, Cobra gets one. Z8Z might be able to get a freebie here, though. That's a pretty big freebie, too. That's a bomb on the ground. Leaves Vekel last alive on the recovery from Kaze. Made that a possibility.
Vekel, can he clutch up here? Moving into the Lion's Den. Dodgy fight here for the first, but they will, back off into each other. Well played there, of course, to just bait things into the AWP. So here we are, 11-11. Rare Atom on the precipice. The Huns also on that very same precipice. Comes all the way down to the final whistle here, and the buy is decent for the Huns. It's actually a little shaky, slightly, for Rare Atom if we are to pick hairs. So we'll see. Have the Huns got anything left up their sleeve?
Charking wanted to take matters into his own hands here. That's a big scalp to take as well. 9 down. Oh, Vekel knows he needs this trade, but he's having to drop down, and he actually doesn't expect Charking to be still going forward, and manages to readjust his crosshair in the nick of time, and now Summer is so stuck in water. Charking seemed to just completely have blood rush to his head there and say, okay, well, I can't get away. I'm just going to peek immediately, and it just leaves Summer on an island. And it's not a summery island, it's a wintry one.
Yeah, not very nice experience there, I think, in general. The push felt good, but as you say, overcommitted, don't quite know what to do with their newfound success, and it has fallen apart brick by brick here. Just rubble remaining as Kaze has to potentially survive, but then do you maybe want to try and give it a little look in, and see what you come away with? I think you keep this up into the next, though, don't you? Is really the logical play rather than the dreamers kind of play. But the Huns maybe snatching that one slightly.
I think he's trying to gauge where to save, right? Because,
yes, very true.
He knows he's going to get hunted by a couple of players. It's the last one of the entire game, and coming up, regulation at least. So, yeah, it's maybe a more unlikely place to save. Will be the last place they look. He's okay.
Okie dokie. What is the response going to look like? It's an AWP surrounded by MP9s. A severe lack of utility, but a lot of heart in this one for Rare Atom. Potentially an explosive play comes to mind with all these SMGs. Maybe a bit more of a stack kind of move, but it seems they are just going to keep things conventional. I think the Huns, that's maybe what they want. Have they kept good track of the economy here? Do they know that it is likely to be a weaker buy? I would say that likelihood is pretty high that they've got a read of the situation here.
Oh, only a jiggle from Child King, but caught by 9 again. 28 and 14 in regulation. It's been a special game when you get near 30 in MR12 reg in the modern day of Counter-Strike. Look at the rest of the buy, mate. It's not filling me with much confidence. Huns could be about to get another 13-11 over Rare Atom. Previous one was on LAN and Mongolia. This one could be online, but they'll both mean a lot to them.
Salmon CZ'd up. The only line of defense on this B-bomb site. Just hidden away at the pillar. Slowly but surely they will creep their way in. He does not know where to look. Does not know what timing will betray him. His head has rolled. Summer trying to move in quick to catch them. But it does not pan out. Kaze and Z8Z, the coach, who may be coming into it this morning, thought he was going to be the only stand-in, but there was, unfortunately, more bad news to come for the lineup. Kaze catches 9. The MP9 can't do anything at range, of course, though. So it is just the AWPer. They know where he's at. He's going to get his hands onto a kit, but that's really the only positive he has going into that 1 versus 3. Does not happen for him. And the Huns, it's hard fought. And it does come down to a couple cheeky force buys going their way, but they will indeed take the 2-0 for the day. A cracking way for them to kick off season 49 of ECL.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And I mean, I said they should be looking to take advantage of the situation Rare Atom find themselves in today. Also knowing that last time they played, it was also not that far. They weren't that far away, It was only Z8Z as the coach playing, of course, instead of Kaze. It's a huge role that Rare Atom missed on that day, but they still found a way to win on that day in Mongolia. So yeah, it's honestly super impressive for the Huns to get it done today. They'll be delighted. They kick off ESL Challenger League in Asia Pacific, and actually all regions, I'm pretty sure, with their name at the top of the leaderboard now. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. I think a fantastic day all round. And yeah, it could, as we've sort of highlighted a couple times, really turn into a good season for them now. We do have a few names within Chinese Counter-Strike, let's say, that are looking a little shakier coming into this season. So I think that there is great potential for a team like the Huns, where they are battling to be the next representative within that Mongolian scene. The Mongols boys a little more concerned with the higher level play, let's say, so they've not really been in ESL Challenger League for a little while now. You've got maybe Atox on the other side of things, but yeah, the Huns could really start to turn a few heads. In all fairness, we've got a couple more results coming in that we can maybe touch on. I don't think we have a graphic for it, unfortunately, but got the
Go for it,
results here. The likes of Lin Vision with a quick victory, getting the 2-0. Nomads. Minus 72 degrees C, who are a bit of a dark horse every season. Got to keep your eye on that squad, being one of the Eastern Russian teams. They can play a different brand of Counter-Strike. They've also started their campaign off pretty well.
Yeah, I think Tyloo won their first BO1. I believe they're getting a little bit closer to winning their second BO1 as well against Harizma. So yeah, it looks like some of the favourites are doing as we suspected. Ratum not so much in the situation they find themselves in, but that is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We'll see how they do in the rest of the season, of course, in future weeks. But we're going to wrap it up now for Asia Pacific. Scriv, you'll be back a little bit later with Neo for EU. So make sure you pop back on the stream when that action goes down. But for now, we'll log off for a few hours and see you in a bit. Cheers.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.